this month. Sources say
Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show, the video live stream for Wednesday, August, what is it today? 6th. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg, and here with me is Phil McDonald.
Ken, how are you?
I'm so excited about this. Sorry.
Same here.
I hear your voice all the time. We've talked a few times, and I've seen you a couple of times in the studios, but we actually just sat down for the first time a few weeks ago to chat. And it's great to have you in the studio. So thanks for coming in.
Same here. It's weird sitting in this chair as opposed to that one.
Because you're usually over here.
Yeah. I think I was in this chair one other time when John Smetanka had me on with respect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How long, for those who may not know, how long have you been with and affiliated with working for WSJM, Midwest Family?
I started part-time in, I want to say summer of 85.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Started part-time.
Was that your first radio gig?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
First and only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
so
when I started, it was just two radio stations.
That's right.
WSJM and WIRX.
So 1985, if I did the quick math on that, we're coming close to 4 decades.
Right.
Wow.
I know. When I on my way in here, you mentioned he's been affiliated for decades. Like, oh my God, I've never really thought of it that way.
Well, sorry, I did a little homework. I had to do a little shorthand, but back of it.
You're right, though.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. So what brought you to WSJM in the first place? How'd you get in the door?
I always was a sports fan.
Yeah,
and listening to, I'm a huge Cubs fan, huge Notre Dame fan. And obviously, I would love watching them on TV, but I loved listening to them on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
I just fell in love with the radio broadcasts and, them making me feel like it was right there.
Yeah.
And I go, you know what? I want to do that.
Yeah.
And I mean, since I was a little kid, that's all I ever wanted to do.
So you knocked on the door. Who'd you talk to?
I talked to Brenda Lane.
Okay.
And she was and Dave Dennis was the program director at the time. Brenda was the assistant program director. Brenda's the one who actually hired me.
Oh.
And then she was my boss for a while. And then
that was a good choice on her part.
Yeah. I still say that I'm indebted to her for hiring me.
Yeah. And so what were you doing when you first got in?
Board operator. I was working the overnight shift. When
we still had an overnight shift.
Yeah. And so, nothing was automated then, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I would run the control board for a portion of a national show called TalkNet.
Oh, okay.
And Bruce Williams.
Yes, I remember Bruce Williams.
Was the host, and then Sally Jesse Raphael.
Oh, okay.
And then ran a little bit of the show for Larry King.
Okay.
Not for him, but here in our studios. And then Jimbo Hannon.
Oh, yeah.
And then all of that led. And then I did, after a while, a 1-hour show from 5 to 6. Just playing music on WSJM leading up to Moody in the Morning.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you know I was on the Jimbo Hannon show once?
I did not.
I was covering wildfires out in Washington State.
Okay.
And they woke me up at some ungodly hour and said, hey, would you talk to us for a few minutes? And I said, sure, why not? Jimbo Hannon.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fairly cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, all right. 7:04 WSJM Morning Show continues. Phil McDonald is here, and currently athletic director for Our Lady of the Lake.
Correct.
Catholic school. So we'll be talking with him about that and a whole host of other things. So join us and feel free to lob in any questions if you want to on the video live stream. We take a look at the comments there as well. We'll be right back. We've got some news to cover. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
For taking such loans. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It is the WSJM morning show, and it's Wednesday, the 6th of August. I'm Ken Lundberg. With me here in the studios for this hour, special treat, we've got none other than Phil McDonald here. You've heard his voice on WSJM for a good period of time, but also he's now the athletic director for Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School in St. Joseph. And so we're pleased to have Phil here talking with us as I've been previewing during the morning show today. We have a special announcement about an affiliation between Phil and WSJM, and that's coming up later on this morning, right here on the WSJM morning show. Don't spill the beans yet.
Absolutely not.
All right. So we've got to get the tension building right here, so people can get excited about it. No, anyway, it's a fun announcement. I think you'll appreciate it. Let's see, forecast. Why don't we do a quick weather check? How is it out there?
Nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Did you run into any fog on your way in?
Maybe a teeny bit of haze.
Okay.
But nothing.
Could have been
drastic.
that campfire haze from Canada.
Oh yeah, how long are those things going to burn?
I don't know. I mean, and one of the things I was hearing on the radio this morning, because one of our U.S. representatives from Michigan sent a letter last week to Canada saying, hey, can you manage your forests a little differently? Because you're blowing us out here 3 years in a row.
No, right.
3 years in a row. And Canada, basically, one of the environmentalists up there said, well, the natural burn, that's the best thing. So it's like, all right. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes. So anyway, so you might encounter some fog this morning, maybe a little bit of haze, and then sunny skies this afternoon. 20% chance of showers hanging around today, but we'll see if that materializes. A high around 85 degrees. Winds out of the southeast, 5 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a low of 65. Thursday, partly cloudy, high of 86. We're going to keep those hot temperatures Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In fact, by Saturday and Sunday, we're probably going to have highs in the mid to upper 80s by the lakeshore, and then maybe 90 degrees in the warmest spots of southwest Michigan. Just a slim chance of rain, it looks like, on Sunday, but we'll see if that comes about either. All right, some of the news from the WSJM newsroom, and then we'll get to our interview with Phil McDonald. Voters headed to the polls yesterday in a handful of southwest Michigan primary elections. Benton Harbor voters advanced 4 candidates for 2 at-large city commission posts, those advancing to compete on the November ballot: Shaquille Turner, Mary Alice Adams, Deidre Fields, and Dwayne Seats. In Buchanan, voters approved a library millage renewal. In Van Buren County, South Haven voters had a mayoral primary to decide. The top 2 vote getters were Mayor Annie Brown and City Councilmember Mary Hosley. According to the results, Hosley finished just 4 votes ahead of Joshua Lemmer. So if that result holds, Brown and Hosley will face off in the November election. For South Haven City Council Ward 1, Eddie Polk and Lisa Kruperez will face off in November. Ward 2, Thomas Capps and Todd Heinrich were the top 2 vote recipients. They will head off to the November election. And in Cass County, the only issue was an operating millage renewal for Marcellus Community Schools. That was approved by voters. All of these results are unofficial. They have to be certified by the respective clerks. The opening of a new car wash business planned for the corner of M139 and Napier Avenue in Benton Township has been delayed. The Benton Township Board of Trustees was told yesterday the delay is due to road construction scheduled on both M139 and Napier Avenue next year. Township Supervisor Kathy Yates says despite the delay, the business is still going in.
I'm excited about the car wash, and I do know that MDOT is going to be doing some work there, and it's major work down in 139, and I'm sure that's why the delay for the car wash.
The planned business is a Tommy's Express car wash. The business owner says due to the road construction delaying the opening of the business, they're asking that a 12-year commercial facilities tax exemption that was granted last year not start until December of 2026. To reflect the new schedule for construction. Trustees agreed, and the commercial facilities tax exemption provides about a 50% tax reduction on property taxes for 12 years once that business opens. That will amount to about $62,000 per year saved on taxes to help the business recoup its estimated $5 million investment. A state grant of $25,000 will help to renovate the former Stevensville post office into a new office for a graphic design company. Stevensville Village Manager Casey Dominguez tells us Applied Arts, which does commercial design, is moving into the vacant building at 2797 Kimmel Street, and they've been awarded the grant through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Match on Main program. The village applied for the grant on behalf of the company.
and they're planning on completely renovating the inside and some of the outside to match kind of their creative aesthetic to be their headquarters.
Dominguez says the building, constructed in 1963, most recently housed Black Arsenal, a firearm shop, but it's been empty since 2022. She's glad a national business is now breathing new life into the property.
It's a big boost to our downtown business community. We have a lot of professional services down there, and this will just add to that. Being the national headquarters for applied arts, it will draw people from both clients and staff from all over the country for meetings and different things in Stevensville.
Dominguez says work on the building should start soon. Back in May, the village granted a 12-year commercial redevelopment tax abatement. Applied Arts CEO Tyson Thorne says the company is thrilled to bring its headquarters to Stevensville. And finally, Indiana-Michigan Power has announced a new contract with Google to help reduce stress on the electric grid for our region during peak usage periods. I&M Director of Communications Stephanie Smith tells us the company already offers residential and commercial customers the option of signing up for a program to reduce their power consumption during peak periods, like especially hot days. Smith says now Google has signed on to that program. They're building a new data center in Fort Wayne. I&M says the new contract will reduce the stress that facility puts on the grid.
So what Google has been able to do is look at how they work and what types of jobs they are performing. And so what they've been able to say is, during these peak periods of power usage, what jobs are critical? What jobs can we maybe delay until, later?
Smith says this will help lower overall energy costs for all customers. The Indiana Utilities Regulatory Commission will now review that contract. That's a look at some of the local news that we're covering from the WSJM newsroom this morning. We have more to talk about. In fact, we're going to talk this hour with none other than Phil McDonald. Welcoming Phil to the WSJM studios once again. You're familiar with the studios here.
Yeah, there's a lot of new gadgets in here.
You like the new gadgets we have? We have lights, we have cameras, we have joysticks and stuff like that.
Man.
Yeah.
Once those were installed and I came in on a Saturday morning, it's like, oh, man, what is this?
You can play with it. Yeah. Have fun with it. No, it's good stuff. So Phil McDonald, and I'll let him introduce himself, but he's been a fixture here at WSJM for many years. We'll go through some of that history here in a few moments, but currently you're on the Coaches Show. Tell people what the Coaches Show is.
Yeah, that's been a long-standing institution. I mean, it started, I don't know how many years ago with Herb Quaid and Bob Kuran.
Wow.
How Brett and I eventually got into the show is when Bob and Herb moved the show from one station over to us.
Yeah.
They did it for a couple of years, and then unfortunately Herb had passed away.
Yeah.
And so then I stepped in as co-host along with Bob, and then Bob started having some health issues, and unfortunately then Bob passed away, and Brett became a permanent fixture on the show with me, and we've been doing it ever since. I don't know, but he'll know exactly how many years we've been doing the show together.
Brett Wachowski and Phil McDonald, they do the Coaches Show during the high school, or during the school year.
Yeah,
during the school year, every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend. We'll start like in a couple weeks, as a matter of fact. Every Saturday morning, we go through the end of May. Usually the only week we take off is the week between Christmas and New Year's. Unless they both fall on a Saturday, then we'll take both Saturdays off. But, most of the time that's the only Saturday we have off, and it's just an opportunity to bring the area coaches in to talk about their other teams and their student athletes and all that, and just give them a chance to put a positive spin on the program.
Yeah. Phil McDonald, very involved in sports in the area as well. What are you doing currently? I know the answer to this, but they don't. You tell them.
Serving as athletic director at Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School in St. Joe.
Yeah.
It's weird when people ask me, and then I come to the realization that I've been there 4 years now, so I'm starting my 5th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And it doesn't seem like it was 4 years ago that I left here full time to take that job over.
That's awesome. We have sports coming up from Dave Wolf in the morning. Unless you want to do the sports for this morning.
We'll let
Dave do it. So we've got sports with Dave Wolf coming up in just a moment. But Phil McDonald is our guest for the full hour here, and in just a moment we'll make a special announcement that involves WSJM and Phil McDonald. So we'll have that for you here in just a moment, a few moments on the radio and on the video live stream. In fact, if you're on the video live stream, we'll give you a preview of what that is coming up right now here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Tuesday in Major League.
See, we bring exclusive content for our people on the video live stream. So one of the things that we've been working through is how can we build more Phil into the radio? How can we put more Phil in the radio? No, Phil, you've been part of the WSJM family for quite some time. I'm counting. Let's see here. Let me do the math because I have a number in my mind. I just want to double check it and make sure. So you said 1985 is when you started. So we're coming up. Let's see. Yeah, you're coming up. When did you start?
Summer of 85.
So this is the summer of 2025.
Yeah.
So that's like 40 years.
Well, yeah, because I think when I took the job at Our Lady of the Lake, we had calculated I had been here 36 years.
Right. And now it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, the math is right. 40 years. So congratulations on 40 years with WSJM.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
And people always say,
Would you start when you were 2? Sorry, keep
But
going.
so many people say, that's unheard of, somebody being at one place that long.
Yeah.
But that just speaks to what kind of an organization Midwest Family is.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm a newbie here. I mean, comparatively speaking. But no, Midwest Family. I mean, it is a family. And people's names, they're very familiar because people are here for a long time.
Yeah. I remember when I first started here, I always refer to Pat Moody as Mr. Moody.
Yeah.
I can't tell you, but when I stopped calling it, he probably told me, look, stop calling me
He probably
Mr.
sat
Moody.
you down and yelled a few curse words at you. No.
Gail Olson was Mr. Olson for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. And so were you doing sports reporting and that kind of thing?
When I first started NOS, the part-time board op, and I want to say the second year I was here, we restarted broadcasting football and basketball games.
Okay.
And so, I guess you could say 35 years I had been doing football and basketball games. First as a color commentator, football for a couple years as a sideline reporter, and then play-by-play.
Okay. So we promised exclusive content to our folks on the video live stream. So I'm going to move that so that we can do that. Let me make sure that we do this. Did you have this system to deal with when you were running the board? Or did you have carts?
When I started, we had carts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I dealt with, if people don't know what DAD is, that's the
computer thing that's very cantankerous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but the exclusive content, the announcement that we're going to make this morning is, you want to do it or you want me to do it? You do it. You do it.
You want me to tease it or actually?
No, just say it. You can say it because it's on the video live stream.
Okay. All right. So I'll be taking over running the Player of the Week program.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a Player of the Week program, and it's an incredible program that recognizes our student athletes week to week. And we're very fortunate that you and Dave have worked out that you're gonna do it again. You've done this before.
Yeah, because I want to say that program has been around with us. Probably, it started before I started. So, I mean, it's probably, you might be looking at 60, 70 years that the program has been around.
That's incredible.
Elmer Dauberstein started the program. I mean, that was long before I started working here.
Yeah.
And it just evolved, and, we honored student athletes it started out just in Berrien County. And then we did 2 separate ones, a Berrien County and then a Van Buren Cass County one. And then we eventually just merged them into one.
Yeah.
So we honor a student athlete from either Berrien Cass or Van Buren County, a school, each week.
We will talk more about that program and what that means here in just a moment on the WSJM Morning Show. So it's super exciting. We're really happy about that.
Happy, yeah.
Be right back.
Mainly east of us, but we're on the edge of that. We have high temperatures today in the low to mid 80s. Partly cloudy tonight down to 65 and partly sunny tomorrow. High temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It's 7:19. It's the WSJM Morning Show for Wednesday, August 6th. I'm Ken Lundberg, and here in the studio with me is none other than Phil McDonald, current athletic director for Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School. And one of the things we just talked about this on the video live stream. We'll talk about it here in a moment. There was a special announcement involving Phil and WSJM, so we want to bring that to you here in just a moment. But I may have to call the coffee police in here because you're not a coffee fan. What's the deal there?
I know. I've never.
You're in radio for like 4 decades.
Exactly. And well, the bad part of that is, when I would do the morning shows, my caffeine was Pepsi.
Oh,
so
okay.
Here it is, 6:30 in the morning, and I'm drinking my Pepsi. That's not a good substitute for coffee.
No. Are you a morning person? Would you call yourself a morning person?
I'm not really a morning person.
Yeah.
I'm more of a night person, honestly. So I mean, when I was doing the morning show and that, it's like it's 8 o'clock. I should be thinking about going to bed. It's 9 o'clock. I should be thinking about going to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I should be thinking about going to bed. And
oh my god! What time did you start? Gee whiz!
I know. It's just it's hard for me to go to sleep early.
Yeah.
I mean, even if I'm exhausted, I'll lay in bed. Okay, I got to fall asleep.
Phil McDonald is a ball of energy, and I'm pleased to be here with him here at WSJM. And we have a special announcement. So those of you who have known Phil and worked with Phil over many years, he's currently the athletic director for Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School. But we have a situation where we need somebody to help with some of the sports here, some of the sports programming. So why don't you go ahead and give the announcement?
So, I mean, Dave Wolf's got so much going on his plate.
Yes.
And so, I found out that, one of the things that he would have liked to maybe take off his plate was running the Player of the Week program.
That's right.
And that's how I reached out to you guys. We got together and talked about it. And I needed to get permission from, our principal, Anna Reed and Father Fleckenstein to make sure that they're okay with me, working a couple of hours, a week doing this. And they said, as long as it doesn't take you away from, what you're doing at the school. It's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And so, it's something that I did for, well, using your word from earlier, decades.
Sorry about that.
You're right, though. And so I'll take it over again.
Yeah. So the announcement this morning, Phil McDonald, a longtime voice here on WSJM, will be returning to the WSJM airwaves on a weekly basis with the Player of the Week program special. So thanks for agreeing to do that.
I'm excited.
We feel very fortunate. For those who aren't familiar with the Player of the Week program itself, how does it operate? What is it, and what's its intent? Why do we do it?
We do it to spotlight, the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I've always believed in, the greatest level of athletics still in my mind is high school.
Yeah.
Because you're still a student athlete. You're not getting paid. You're not getting scholarships. You're doing it because you just love doing it.
Yeah.
And so it's our way of recognizing kids that do that and excel, not only athletically, but academically as well. I'm amazed with, what some of these, student athletes are doing, just, their grades athletically, and they're in countless, clubs and volunteer opportunities.
They juggle so much and they excel at so much. And it's just fantastic to see all of them doing so great and preparing for their future life. And along the way, I love this recognition, the Player of the Week and the stories behind it.
Right. Exactly. And, when I loved every aspect of when I was working here before full time. But I mean, if I had to pick a favorite, it was the high school sports programming. So doing the play-by-play, we used to do a Thursday morning road trip broadcast at area schools, the coaches, but also then student athlete of the week, but now Player of the Week. It's just getting a chance to talk to the student athletes and the coaches and just say, you know what, nice job. Let's talk about your accomplishments. And it's neat talking to them and learning more about them. And giving the community a chance to know them, not just as a volleyball player or a football player or a basketball player, but as a kid.
Yeah. On and off the field. On and off the field. How, for those who might not understand or know the process, and this is going to be a poke to make sure that we get enough nominations or a good number of nominations each and every week for the entire school year. How does that process go? What are you looking for, and how do these nominations for Player of the Week get submitted?
So each week, the athletic directors and their assistants will get an email from here, saying, "Okay, it's time. Can you pass this email on to your coaches? And it's for varsity student athletes.
Okay,
pass this on to your varsity coaches. Encourage them to nominate one of their student athletes. And so each coach, if they think, they've got somebody who's deserving, they'll go ahead and fill out the nomination form and send it back. And from there, then we'll take a look at those and select. And again, the more information, the better.
Yes.
You know, we want to know what they did, obviously, athletically, but what kind of a student are they?
Yeah.
And what else do they have going on? Are they, you know, in the student council? Are they National Honor Society?
Yep.
Or, in the Key Club or DECA or anything like that? What do they do? Drama, band?
Yeah. What sets them apart? What are they doing that you don't see with it?
Yeah.
All athletes, for turning out and being part of the team, that's great.
Exactly.
But again, at the same time, you want to reward excellence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes, a lot of times the winner is not the superstar athlete. They may have had a decent game, but look at everything else that they've done. And a lot of, I come across that running the program in the past and now at Our Lady of the Lake, how many student athletes play 2 sports in one season?
Yeah.
I mean, they may be a volleyball player and a cross country runner, or they may play football and soccer.
Yeah.
And they may play, softball and run track.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
So we can expect then that all the nominations will come in and we'll get an Our Lady of the Lake athlete every week. No, that's not, that's what some people are thinking, but that's not the case.
And I don't blame them for thinking that too. If one of our coaches, and I will, encourage every coach at every school to nominate one of their student athletes. But if one of the coaches at Our Lady of the Lake nominates one of, I'll say our kids, I'll step away from the selection process.
Yes.
And I'll bring in a couple other people not associated with the school.
Yeah.
Say, what do you think?
Yeah.
I had to do that a couple times when we selected our, when we were still doing Student Athlete of the Year. At that time, we took all of our Student Athlete of the Week winners, and then of those, we selected a Student Athlete of the Year.
Okay.
And if there was a student athlete from then Lake Michigan Catholic, and I graduated from there,
okay,
then I stepped away and said, I don't want it to look at all like, I'm selecting, so even if they were deserving of it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, I'm going to step back and let you guys
recuse
decide.
yourself.
Yes.
And so just know that it's going to be independence and objectivity that will rule the day here.
Exactly.
That'll be good. That'll be good. So again, the announcement this morning, Phil McDonald, who's currently the athletic director at Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, will be coming back to the WSJM airwaves on a regular basis to give us the player of the week. And it'll be starting up, late August?
Yeah.
Late this month?
Yeah, later on this month.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So starting later this month, because we have to get some high school games in first.
Exactly.
And then we can start picking the athletes of the week or the players of the week. That's fantastic. And again, as far as the process goes, the nominating process, who do you need to hear from on a regular basis?
The coaches.
Yeah, okay.
In the past, I've had like a parent say, I want to, nominate my son or daughter. It's like, I don't blame you. If you could, please talk to your coach, because then, if you open that up, then you have, parents, aunts and uncles, grandparents, people from the community nominating, and, the nomination should come from the individual that the student athlete plays for.
Yes.
And that being the coach.
Yeah. So the coaches have a responsibility and an opportunity to nominate, and that's in conjunction with the athletic directors as well.
Correct. Yeah. So the athletic directors will get the email every week.
Okay.
And say, please pass this along to your coaches.
And there's a form. There's a super secret special form that they go to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So the athletic directors are involved. And so, what I grew to know doing this before is, the first line is the athletic director.
Yeah.
You need the athletic directors to buy in, because they could see that, we don't have anybody, so I'm not going to even bother passing it along to our coach. But pass it along to your coach.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So that's starting up here in a couple of weeks. You'll hear it here on the WSJM airwaves, the player of the week, and it's going to be hosted this year by Phil McDonald. So thanks for doing that. We appreciate that.
My pleasure. I'm excited about it.
We've got a lot more to talk about with Phil, including what he's currently doing as athletic director. 4 years in, 4 years in?
Yes.
Almost 5.
Starting year 5.
Starting year 5 for Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School. We'll talk about athletics. We'll also talk about other things that Phil might be up to here on the WSJM Morning Show. So tune in. We'll continue that conversation right now on the video live stream, on YouTube, on Facebook, on the WSJM app. We do on the radio have some Bloomberg news to get to, our ABC World and National News, local news preview, and sports. It's all coming up right here on WSJM.
Hi, everybody. Pat Moody with another edition of Moody on the Move, taking you
Okay, back on the video live stream. How we doing? Is that good?
Doing good.
Was that all right?
Yes.
Okay, we got the announcement out there. I feel good about that. I think people are excited.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's a passion of mine.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah. Sports. You played when you were younger?
When I was younger, like through middle school, I played basketball up until my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
Came to the realization that, basketball is probably not the route I should go.
Okay.
So in middle school, I also ran cross country. So then what I did in high school is I ran cross country and track.
Okay. Were you good?
Okay. At least, in cross country, had a chance to run in the state finals a couple of times.
Really?
So yeah.
Okay.
What was really cool about that, now the Michigan High School Athletic Association for years, all the division state finals are at Michigan International Speedway in Jackson.
Okay.
But when I ran, it was at different areas around the state. So my junior and senior year, our cross country state championship, we were then Class C, was at Waterville Elite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
right next door.
Pretty short drive to the state finals.
Yeah. That way you don't have to get road weary before you compete.
Exactly.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Back on the player of the week. So the nominations, when are they due each week?
Tuesday mornings.
Okay, so Tuesday mornings, because that way you give the coaches some time and the athletic directors some time to go through what just happened transpired over the last weekend.
Yeah,
the Friday night games and such.
If we were doing it right now, anything that happens this week, that nomination is due next Tuesday morning.
Okay, next Tuesday morning. And then what's the process from there? There you take a look at what's come in and what you have to contend with.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
You take a look at everything, and it's always hard to compare apples to oranges. I mean, how do you compare a cross country runner to a football player?
Yeah.
Take into account, the competitions that they've played, and again, what they do outside of athletics.
Right. So boys, girls, the only restriction is varsity. And do you have a geographic area that you map out?
So it'll be the Tri-County area, so Berrien, Cass, Van Buren counties.
Okay.
So I mean, in the past, I don't know about recent years, but we've had winners from Howardsville Christian in Marcellus, down to New Buffalo, over to Dowagiac and Decatur, to South Haven, to Bloomingdale, Bangor, St. Joe, Benton Harbor, Lakeshore.
I'm going to put you, I'm going to put you on the spot. So, have any players of the week that we've recognized, or athletes of the week, have they ever gone on to play pro ball or in a professional sport?
Joik Bell.
Okay. Yeah.
Wilson Chandler.
Okay.
Boy, those two jump off the top of my. Kaiser Gondrzik.
Wow. Yeah. Basketball. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah. So I mean, those are just a few. I think there are probably a few more.
Okay.
Have gone on to play pro ball.
See, look at that. So if you want to play pro ball, if you want to go into professional athletics, your first hurdle is getting on the player of the week.
That's right.
Pickleball?
I've never played.
Me either. It looks really fast.
It does. I'm waiting for them to add that as
a high school sport.
Yeah.
You think they will? Has there been talk of that?
There hasn't been talk, but they've recently, as a high school sanctioned sport with the MHSAA, boys volleyball, flag football. St. Joe just won the state championship last season.
Yeah.
Girls field hockey.
Hang on one second. We got to get back on the radio here. We'll continue this conversation. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Stock futures are pointing to a higher open this morning. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Having a great conversation this morning with Phil McDonald. He's here in the WSJM studios. No stranger to the WSJM studios. And as we announced this hour, we will have our Player of the Week program returning later this month in August, and it will be hosted by Phil McDonald. So again, thank you, Phil, for doing that. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. I'm looking forward to it, like I said.
It's going to be great fun. And that's not the only time people can hear you on the radio. You're on the Coaches Show every week starting later this month as well.
Yeah, in just a couple of weeks, actually.
Yeah.
And I just got the good news from one of our sales representatives.
Yes.
Steve Schlutt, that we're going to be next door again.
Yep, Signature Toyota.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Signature Toyota, for sponsoring.
Yeah, it was a great spot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fresh and it's new, and you've got, all the cool cars to look at.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
you driving a Toyota yet?
Well, the Jeep that I have, I got from Signature years ago.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody was asking me yesterday, has Phil been driving the same Jeep for like 30 years or something like that? How long have you had that Jeep?
This particular Jeep I got in 06.
Because we actually had a discussion about it. I think it was in the news meeting yesterday. Somebody said, "Have you had the Jeep for decades?"
Yeah.
And then somebody else said, "No, I think his other Jeep was red and this one's green."
So the first one was green.
Oh, okay.
And this one's silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're colorblind, but we we remember that you have the Jeep.
Yeah, but red and green would be appropriate.
Yeah.
I'm half Italian, half Irish.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to continue our conversation with Phil McDonald here in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to ask him his opinion on ESPN basically buying all the media of the NFL. That's coming up. Plus, we're talking about sports. We were talking about the possibility of pickleball becoming a high school sport. So your athletic director colleagues are going to be going, what in the world are you talking about? Forecast for today, fog in some areas, and then it's just going to be another beautiful sunny Southwest Michigan day. 20% chance of showers, so just a slim chance of a shower popping up here or there. High around 85 degrees and winds out of the southeast 5 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy, a low of 65 overnight. Thursday, partly cloudy again, and we're going to have a high of around 86 degrees. Friday, a high of 88. Saturday, a high of 90. So we're on that pattern. And fortunately, it looks like that Canada wildfire smoke will stay at bay a little bit. I mean, we'll still get some haze, but it won't be like it was last week. 7:36, WSJM Morning Show. We've got a preview of local news coming up after this.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. More than 50 Texas Democrats remain AWOL from Austin, refusing to vote on a new map of the state's congressional districts. Here's ABC Chief White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
The congressional map is not linked to presidential races. Instead, it's usually tied to the once-a-decade census. Still, the president pushing for a new Texas map to give Republicans 5 new seats in Congress. But a vote can't happen without Democrats present, and dozens have fled the state. Texas Governor Abbott has already threatened to arrest them. Now he's calling on the state Supreme Court to remove the top Democrat, Jean Wu, from office.
Jean Wu telling ABC News those seats do not belong to Donald Trump. They belong to the American people. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy pulling $500 million in funding for vaccines that are developed using mRNA technology. Sources say Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to host top administration officials tonight for a strategy session on the Epstein files. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
7:38 WSJM Morning Show continues. We'll continue our conversation with Phil McDonald here in just a moment in the studios. Some of the news that we're covering at 8 o'clock. Voters headed to the polls yesterday in a handful of Southwest Michigan primary elections. In Benton Harbor, they advanced 4 candidates to November for a couple of at-large commission seats. Let's see, in Buchanan, voters did approve a library millage renewal. In South Haven, they have a mayoral primary. We'll cover all those races and how things shook out. That's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also in the news at 8 o'clock, big crowds came out to meet and mingle with their community police and fire departments in Southwest Michigan. It happened last night as part of the National Night Out festivities, so a good success there. And then also several police officers and medics from South Haven honored by the Van Buren County Sheriff's Department for their actions during a standoff last month that involved a suspect with explosive devices that he was throwing allegedly at law enforcement. Yeah, so fortunately that turned out well, and now the officers involved are getting recognized, commended for their good work on that. So we'll have those stories and more. That's all coming up at 8 o'clock this morning right here on WSJM. 7:39, more coming up. We've got sports with Dave Wolf after a look at state news.
The Michigan.
All right, back here on the video live stream with Phil McDonald, and let's take a look at our comments. Teresa, yeah. Here are our comments. Oh, we have a lot of comments. Let's see. We have a lot of good mornings. We have a very friendly crew. Bill, Diane, Lucas says, Phil, just like old times. Lucas Meyer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he says hello. Teresa says good morning. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, by the way, Lucas, I got a call from hopefully your future boss yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's applying for a job, and he asked if he could put me down for a reference.
Oh, very nice.
So
okay.
I tried to play up as much as I could.
Excellent. By the way, job tip. If you ever put somebody down as a reference, let them know before you put them down as a reference. And if you want to go the extra mile, you put down 3 references and you give an assignment to each of those references. Talk about what a good guy I am. Talk about what a good cook I am. Talk about how good I am at my job. Have them all focus on a different thing. So you're not wasting opportunity there. Hit, because one of those things might be important to your employer more than the other things.
Yeah. I like that.
Used to work in Washington, Phil.
Hopefully I won't have to look for somebody to do that for me, but you never know.
Well, exactly. No, stay at Our Lady. That's good stuff. Let's see. Oh, okay. Teresa, let's see.
York?
Yeah, Teresa York.
Yeah. Hey, Teresa.
Yeah. Let's see. Diane. Let's see what else. Oh, Teresa once again says, what's up with all the fires in Canada? Well, I mean, they have, I don't know for sure, but from one of the officials I heard this morning on one of the reports I follow, said that Canadian wildlife officials, they appreciate that the natural cycle happens. And so they don't go in and do the preventative work. So if you have forest management practices, let's say you're a warehouse or you're a paper company or a timber company, and you have the growth stands that produce paper or produce lumber for houses or whatever else, you go in and you make sure, okay, if there's a lightning strike, it's not going to devastate or decimate our entire crop, if you will, of trees. So you do fire management. And making breaks and do harvests and stuff like that. Up in Canada, if you're not doing that, if you're not managing actively, you let nature do it, and that the fires, you see them as a good thing because that helps, replenish and redo the ecosystem and everything else, which who can argue with Mother Nature? That's what they do. So
interesting.
Consequently, we get a lot of smoke. We get secondhand smoke from Canada. Anyway,
that answers the question for me then.
Yeah. I mean, and if you, I don't know, I keep talking about this. There's this one weather app that I have. Let me pull it up. I'll show. It's called My Radar, and if you look on it,
I think I have My Radar.
Okay, so if you look at it, so here's us, right? Okay, and then I zoom out a little bit. So this is basically looking from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, and you can see where Canada is, where all those little candles are.
Yeah.
That's all the wildfire that's happening.
Really?
Yeah. So if, I don't know if you can see that, but basically all those little orange candles, those are all the wildfires, and they stretch from Alaska all the way to Thunder Bay.
Wow.
And that's, weather pattern wise, as the wind is coming, that funnels right into Michigan.
We're right there.
We're right there. Tell folks, and we can talk about this on the air as well a little bit, but give folks a preview. What do you do at Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School? I know you're athletic director there, but what does that mean?
It just oversees all the athletic programs, hiring the coaches, making sure, they're in line with our mission as far as preaching student first, as all schools do.
Yeah.
And it's hard sometimes for a coach to, let a kid, not come to practice for a couple of days because they're a kid. And when's the Berrien County Youth Fair? Is it next week?
Next week.
Yeah. So a lot of kids are probably going to be missing the parts of the first week of school because they're involved with the Berrien County Youth Fair. And, coaches don't like that, but you have to remind them they're being a kid,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're just working with the coaches and helping them with whatever they need within reason to be as successful as possible. I mean, our volleyball coach brought the team to the state championship match last year.
Exciting.
Yeah, exactly.
So exciting.
Yeah. And, the boys basketball team the year before made it to the state quarterfinals. And so, when you do that, you figure how many schools there are in the state of Michigan.
Yeah.
and you make it that far. So just, working with the coaches, making sure they have what they need at their hands to try to, have the team be as successful as possible, making all the schedules out, working with the referees.
Have you tried AI yet? Like I asked?
I have not.
Okay. Phil said, AI. I don't know that it could help with my role, and I think it might. You put all the information in, see what comes out.
Yeah, right.
Could help.
Yeah.
Although it trips me up every now and again.
Does it?
I use it for sports scores, and it gave me a bad sports score the other day.
Really?
It was outdated. It was outdated by a day.
Oh, okay.
So I because I would double check everything before it goes on, I caught it. But then I didn't check, I think, a game schedule or something like that, and it gave me a bad one, and so I went with that one. So I learned my lesson. We got to get back on the radio here. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Today, we do see a slight chance of a shower, mainly east of us, but we're on the edge of that. We have high temperatures today in the low to mid 80s. Partly cloudy tonight, down to 65, and partly sunny tomorrow. High temperatures in the mid and upper 80s. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
See, you never know what you're going to miss if you're missing the video live stream. Just a moment ago, Phil and I were talking about AI. We were talking about wildfire management by Canada.
Right.
We forgot to get to our ESPN story about them basically Walt Disney buying the NFL media stuff out. And let me give you this real quick, and then we'll go into the Moody on the Market. ESPN, which is owned by Walt Disney Company, announced yesterday they're officially acquiring the National Football League network. The whole network.
Okay.
The deal, which gives the NFL a 10% equity stake in ESPN, includes the NFL's linear Red Zone channel and NFL Fantasy, so fantasy football stuff. The agreement between ESPN and the NFL aims to set a new standard for how professional football is delivered, experienced, and celebrated by fans.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, they're taking the kid gloves off. I mean,
guess.
ESPN is going to dominate. I mean, that's a big deal. It seems like.
I mean, when it comes to college sports, because I'm more of a college sports fan than I am a pro sports fan. I mean, they, ESPN, if I'm not mistaken, owns the SEC network, the ACC network, maybe the Big East network.
Wow.
They don't have Big Ten network. I think that's Fox.
Okay. Wow. They said the announcement paves the way for the world's leading sports media brand, ESPN, and America's most popular sport, NFL, to deliver an even more compelling experience for NFL fans in a way that only ESPN and Disney can. Commissioner Goodell and the NFL have built an outstanding media asset here, a set of assets, and these transactions will add to consumer choice, they say. Provide viewers with even greater convenience and quality, and expand the breadth and value proposition of Disney's streaming ecosystem. It's a curious move.
It really is.
I mean, you think about the streaming wars that are happening, and you think about where NFL can be streamed. I mean, can you even find it on over-the-air network TV anymore?
You can, but not as much.
Not as much.
Which one is it?
Amazon Prime carries games.
And I think that's the Thursday night game.
Yeah, the Thursday night game's there. What else? Anyway. The robots.
More and more things are going to streaming.
You know what I like most about the ESPN broadcasts? The robots. Is it ESPN that has the robots, or is that NBC? I can't remember. One of them has the robots.
Oh, that might be Fox.
Is that
I know
Fox?
what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe it's Fox.
Yeah.
See how well I am versed in sports? It's the Sports Ball. I like the Sports Ball Network. It's time for our Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And as part of our Moody on the Market update today, I wanted to recognize Phil McDonald for just being an outstanding person, a great athletic director for Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, and for what he's contributed to WSJM over the years. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And so for our Moody on the Market update, just give us again, let's talk about your agreement to come back to WSJM's airwaves just a little bit more than you already are and do Player of the Week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, one thing that that I loved about the job before I, went to Our Lady of the Lake, and I do it there now too, is, you play high school sports, but how can you make it more enjoyable for them, or maybe more meaningful for
Yes.
them? And so when you broadcast a game on the air, I mean, how many kids can say their, football or basketball game was broadcast on the radio or, online? And how many kids can say they were interviewed for a radio station, like, college and pro people are.
Yeah.
Here they are being interviewed for their accomplishments in that. And so it just, how can you make high school sports mean even more and be more memorable? One thing that I tell the story all the time when we used to do the Thursday morning road trip is I would ask, especially seniors that are going to be graduating, what are you going to remember most? What's going to be your most lasting memory? And I'm expecting them to say, the time I, ran for 250 yards in one game, or I scored 30 points.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of them ever said that. It was always the, I'll never forget the bus rides, the fun we used to have there, or the team meals, or, where we would hang out after practice.
Yeah.
And it was the stuff kind of associated with the sport, but kind of disassociated with the sport.
Yeah.
And so that really kind of registers is, how do you make high school athletics more fun for the kids, more enjoyable? And, don't make it feel like a job. Make it feel like it's something you really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you bring up a really good point. And again, this goes back to the idiom of, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. And it's not just how you play the game, it's how you show up before, during, and after the games.
Right.
And as you mentioned earlier this hour, it's not just the athletes who are doing stellar job on the field, it's those who are putting it in after and during as well, whether it's schoolwork or community commitments or work or family and that kind of thing. That whole picture, and bringing it forward and giving recognition, because they're a great example for current and future generations as well.
Yeah. And, I'll see somebody, if I'm out for a walk in town, it's like, do you remember interviewing me?
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, I do, but they remember that.
Yeah.
And if they remember it, if it stands out, mission accomplished.
Yeah. So Player of the Week is coming back this year, this school year. We've had it for, you were estimating 5 or 6 decades now. It's been here on the radio at least, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I couldn't tell you when it started with, again, Elmer Dauberstein. He was the gentleman who started the whole program.
So it's starting up again later this month, and Phil McDonald will be leading that charge, Player of the Week, here on WSJM. We appreciate it. And the way the process works is coaches nominate their players. Phil works with the athletic directors, and he'll be working with Dave Wolf as well to make sure that everybody gets the nomination for him. And parents and teammates, if you have somebody that you want to see nominated, talk to the coach.
Talk to the coach.
Talk to the coach and get them to get that stuff in. All right, that's our Moody on the Market update for this hour. Moody on the Market update brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll continue the conversation and wrap it up here in a few minutes. We're talking with Phil McDonald here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Rich Fran and Tara Causey from Insurance.
All right, back on the video live stream. So what is it you like about your job the most?
Working with the kids.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about, sports work here at WSJM is working with the kids and just, feeding off their enthusiasm and, the love for everything that they do.
Yeah.
And, one thing I like to preach, and Our Lady of the Lake, and I'm not going to really single us out because, it's the case at a lot of places, but, I preach sportsmanship and show good sportsmanship, show respect. And with our kids, it's not a hard message to deliver, which is nice. And then when you get feedback from people that were in the stands, even, opposing fans, I really respect the sportsmanship that your kids showed.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah,
it really does.
How I know it feels like, I don't know, but it feels like the sportsmanship or lack thereof demonstrated by parents over the years peaked, and then hopefully it's been moderated. Are parents showing up a little better than they used to?
Showing up to games or
Showing up as far as being good sports.
Yeah.
About what's happening.
Well, I mean, you're still going to see your handful of people that, that do not show very good sportsmanship.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that you hate to walk up to and say, I'm going to need you to, cool off a little bit, or I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Have you done that? Have you had to do that?
I haven't had to do it, but I know of several athletic directors that have.
Yeah.
And I have a great appreciation of sports officials,
Yes.
referees, umpires, and that every year around spring break, we always have them on our coaches show.
Yeah.
To kind of bring a human element to it.
Okay.
And, I tell our folks, if you're complaining about the job they're doing, I can hook you up with the State Athletic Association so you can become a registered official. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Well, then ease off.
Then stop.
Yeah.
Stop criticizing. No, it's a fair point. It's a fair point because, it's walking a mile in somebody else's shoes, and all the officials, they're rated, aren't they?
Yes.
And how does that rating work?
So the coaches will rate the officials.
Okay. On how good they are at calling the calls, and basically that information is then shared how? How do you use it as a coach, or do you?
Excuse me. I don't use it, but the State Athletic Association does when they start assigning officials for higher ranking tournament games.
I see.
I mean, once you get past districts, okay, is this official worthy of a regional matchup or a quarterfinal or a state championship?
Okay. Well, we'll be back in just a moment to conclude our conversation with Phil McDonald. It's been a blast. Can you believe it's been an hour already?
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Wow, that flew by.
Just a moment at 7:56 WSJM.
I'm WSJM.
Back here on the radio, it's the WSJM Morning Show. If you missed any of our interview this hour with Phil McDonald, it's already archived. It's on the WSJM Smart app. It'll be on YouTube and Facebook here in a couple of minutes. Just go back and you can listen to the whole thing. And in fact, if you're an athletic director or a coach, big news here is Phil McDonald has agreed to lead the Player of the Week program for this coming year, and it starts in just a couple of weeks.
It does,
because what happens on Monday next week?
So this upcoming Monday is the first official day of practice. I mean, over the summer, over the last few weeks, you could have like voluntary workouts and stuff like that, but Monday is the first day you can say mandatory practice.
Yeah,
and for some sports, like our first day of practice for all of our fall sports is Monday. The following Monday is our first soccer match.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, this is the case with all schools.
Yeah.
You're going to have a handful of athletic events in before the first day of school.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. And high school athletics in good shape, you say, overall?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's cool how the state has added a few more, like we were talking about earlier, like the flag football. And again, congratulations to St. Joe in the state championship, and
boys
volleyball, girls field hockey.
Yeah.
And so, and again, the MHSAA tests the waters and, surveys, do we think this is going to be a sport that is going to have enough interest to add?
Yeah.
And so, it's pretty cool.
Okay. All right. Well, Phil McDonald, athletic director for Our Lady of the Lake Catholic School, and also a longtime voice here on WSJM, and his voice will be returning to the airwaves this fall, I guess this summer, because, I mean, we're starting it later this month for Player of the Week on WSJM. So athletic directors and coaches, you're now on notice. You're going to have to get your nominations in. Toot sweet to Phil McDonald, and he'll send you the form, and everything
Please
will be
don't
good.
ignore my emails, because I know you got a lot from me for other reasons, for athletic reasons, for the school. Don't ignore my emails, please.
Yeah. So Phil, thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us this morning. Any final words about Our Lady of the Lake?
We're excited for another year coming up, and first day of school is the 25th. I think that's the case for a lot of people. But I mean, I'm so looking forward to having the kids back in the hallway, and just seeing their enthusiasm.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for doing what you do, and we appreciate you, and we'll look forward to hearing you both on the Coaches Show, which is starting up later this month, and the Player of the Week program. Forecast for today, we're already seeing it outside, sunshine and only a slim chance of rain shower pop up here or there. High around 85 degrees. Tonight's forecast, partly cloudy skies remain, a low of 65, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, partly cloudy skies and warmer temperatures. We're going to start around 86 degrees on Thursday, 88 on Friday for a high, 90 for a high on Saturday and Sunday. Thanks for joining us. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Now we have the latest world and national news from ABC.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. The standoff in the Texas legislature drags on with the makeup of Congress after the 2026 midterm elections hanging in the balance. In Dallas, here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
For a second consecutive day.
There being 94 members present, a quorum is not